What's poppin', big headed fam? It's your boy Big Gotti, and I am back with another one. Hey, look, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because it lets you know when I drop. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be reacting to that man Sam Bankman-Fried's interview right before he got arrested on Good Morning America. Now, if he wasn't going to get arrested, he was definitely going to get arrested after this interview. It seemed like the dude that's basically interviewing him is like an investigator for the feds or something, but we're going to get a bar of this, and y'all let me know what y'all think about the content in the comment section. Let's go.
Reasons FTX went bankrupt is because FTX deposits were used to pay Alameda's creditors. Carolyn Ellison said you knew about that. Is that true?
Damn.
You know, best I can tell, Alameda did have a big position open on FTX. That position, I think, was very over collateralized a year ago. There was a total market collapse, and specifically a large correlated collapse in its assets, over the last month, and to some extent over the last year, that threatened that position quite a bit. And I think that's, as best I understand, a lot of what happened there.
I am no cryptocurrency expert. I'm no finance expert, but I don't think you answered my question. I always ask you, did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors. Are you, which creditors are you referring to?
Carolyn Ellison said that you all knew that these funds were put into Alameda. They were the funds owned by your depositors.
So I can't speak for who knew what. A lot of the customers on FTX did have, borrows either, in dollars or Bitcoin or euros.
But as you know, the FTX terms of service tell the people who signed up, none of the digital assets in your account are the property of or shall be or may be loaned to FTX trading. But you're saying that happened.
My understanding is.
So right there, man, I feel like that was his downfall, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the dude is investigating him, you feel me? So it's like almost like he's giving himself up, you know what I mean? He's throwing himself under the bus, you know what I mean? This interview was almost like the downfall of everything for him, you feel me? He should have kept his mouth closed. You already got the girl telling on you, you feel me? So, you know what I'm saying? You might as well just be quiet, wait till you talk to the attorney and let the attorney speak for you. But let's go.
A few things happen. The first is there is a margin trading facility on FTX by which users can lend out funds, by which other users borrow funds. And so there are explicit cases where there is, margin extended, where there is borrow lending.
If Alameda is borrowing the money that belongs to FTX depositors, that's a bright red line, isn't it?
There are a lot of cases where that's actually explicitly part of the programs and that are
but
happening.
Not here.
He said that's explicitly part of the programs, like that's illegal. And everybody knows that. I don't even know why he's even speaking on this, and he doing it on national television. It's like, bro, you need to be quiet. A lot of people need to learn from this guy, though. But let's go.
It says that the digital assets may not be loaned to FTX trading. They can't be loaned out.
He repeating this shit. He crazy in the motherfucker for that.
There existed a borrow lending facility on FTX. And I think that's probably covered, I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere else in the terms of service.
But they'd have to approve of that. They're saying they didn't approve of it here. They're saying you approved of it.
If you rewind to, the beginning of FTX, where, some customers were, I think in line with sort of existing relationships that they've had, at least in some cases, wiring money straight to Alameda Research in order to trade on FTX.
So you do know, and you did know, that FTX deposits were being funneled to Alameda.
So I was vaguely aware that that was how some wires were being sent in the first place.
Didn't that set off alarm bells in your head?
So there were a lot of people who were involved in that process. And look, I really deeply wish that I had taken a lot more responsibility for understanding what the details were of what was going on there. I knew that,
like I said before, if he wasn't going to go to jail, he was definitely going to go to jail after this interview, man.
Legal was involved. I knew that other groups at the company were involved, that there were agreements drafted up.
But you're ultimately responsible.
And ultimately, absolutely, I should have been on top of this, and I feel really, really bad and regretful that I wasn't. And a lot of people got hurt. And that's on me.
Here's what Mark Cuban has to say about that.
Yep.
He said, if I were him, I'd be afraid of going to jail for a long time.
Facts.
At the end of the day, it's not my call what happens, and the world will judge me as it will.
Are you worried about going to jail?
There are a lot of things that are worrying me right now.
I bet.
And
I bet, nigga.
As best as possible, I'm trying to focus on what I can do going forward to be helpful, and let whatever regulatory and legal processes are happening play out as they will.
I do want to move on, but just finally on this. This is really a yes or no question.
Yep.
Carolyn Ellison says you knew that FTX funds were being funneled to Alameda. Did you know that?
I knew that there.
You see the reporter glance over there like he was looking at somebody like trying to get him to say it, and he just said he knew right now. So this is sad, man.
There is an open margin position there, and that involved.
I know, but that's not what I'm
borrow.
asking. If she's in court and you're in court and she's under oath and you're under oath and you're asked, did you know that these funds were being funneled to Alameda, what is your answer?
I did not know that there is any improper use of customer funds.
You also took out a $1 billion loan. What was that for?
That was generally for reinvesting in the company. That was not for consumption. To my knowledge, I have basically nothing left. Basically everything I had was invested in the business.
He already knew he was finna get caught, so he took out that $1 billion loan because his company was worth so much, you feel me? So he knew he can get the billion. So he still got that money right now tucked off somewhere. He a smart guy, but it just sucks that he had to go out like this. Let's go.
I expect I'm gonna have nothing at the end of this. I think I had $100,000 left in my bank account last I checked, and I think I have,
one of your bank accounts.
One credit card working with that right now.
Earlier this summer, you thought you had, what, 32 billion?
Probably 20, but a whole lot more than I do now.
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah, it's been a really humbling fall in a lot of ways.
How do you explain the failure? Was it inattention, arrogance?
It's a good question.
Was it unethical?
Some part of it was just literal distraction. I really should have spent some time each day taking a step back and saying, what are the most important things here, right? And how do I have oversight of those and make sure that I'm not losing track of those? And
basically, man, I'm gonna stop that right there. He already done told on himself all on national television, but y'all let me know what y'all think about the content in the comment section. I feel like, man, he done did this to himself, and now he got to try to get himself out of it. But until the next one, y'all stay safe out there.